Hello friends, welcome to 1516. In this video, I will be explaining the process of how to get an equivalency certificate from Osmania University. I will cover the step-by-step process, the fees it costs, the timeline, and the common mistakes made by students. What is an equivalency certificate? An equivalency certificate is a document that certifies that your degree from another university in a different state or country is equal to that conferred by Osmania University. Basically, OU will check your degree and approve it, saying that it is equal to an OU degree. Why do you need this? OU wants to verify that you studied a course that has prepared you for this particular course that you're applying to at OU, and that the university that has issued it is following similar rules and has issued the degree in with all the guidelines in order. Since different universities have different rules, OU may not accept all degrees. Who does not need this? This is very important. If you already studied an undergraduate degree at Osmania University, you do not need an equivalency certificate. If you studied at any other university in Telangana, you do not need to submit equivalency certificate, and you only need to submit a migration certificate in such cases. Here is a sample equivalency certificate. This is how it looks. This is how you will be issued a final equivalency certificate. How long does it take to issue an equivalency certificate? The issue time is 3 days after the evaluation of documents. So the documents evaluation may take longer, and you may have to supply additional documents if you do not have them at hand. Here are the documents required. You need an application form. I've given the link in the description for where you can find this. You can print it out and fill it up. You need the 10th class memo, you need the intermediate memo, you need the graduation memos. Individual and consolidated memos are both mandatory. You need a transfer certificate, commonly known as TC, issued by the last attended college. Only submit a Xerox copy of this. You need a migration certificate, submit a Xerox of this. Distance education has some complications, such as if you've studied a study center for a distance education university, that may be a challenge. So in the past, there was no regulation regarding this. However, in the past 5 years, they have come up with several regulations such as Distance Education Bureau, and they have regulated that a student must be a resident of a state and write the exam in the same state instead of having it in a different state or something like that. So basically, Madurai Kamaraj University and some universities like that issued thousands of distance degrees, including some in Kuwait, with study centers in Kuwait. So while that was valid at that point, but today these are not valid. So OU may or may not accept your degrees if you studied in distance education and you studied at a different place. So suppose you studied at a university in Hyderabad and the study center is in Delhi, that may not be valid. Finally, you need to pay an application fee of 2000 rupees by demand draft or banker's check in the favor of Registrar OU. This is the name that is to be there on the DD. It is recommended that you pick it up from a bank that is near your house. How do I apply? So you have two options in how you can apply. The first is speed or registered post. This costs less than 100 rupees, and you can send it from a post office near you, and there's a 24-hour counter that's available in Begumpet Airport if you're interested. If you want to get it to the university faster, you also have the option to apply in person. If you're applying by post, your documents have to be sent to the following address: to the registrar, attention, Deputy Registrar Academic, Osmania University, Hyderabad, 507. Pros and cons of applying by post. If you're living far away in Hyderabad, or you're living in a different city, or you're living in a different state, you would have a lot of benefit by applying by post, because you will be able to get your documents evaluated way before you ever step into the university. Furthermore, when you submit documents by post, senior officials beyond the administrative assistant may take a look at your documents and determine whether they are valid or not. Furthermore, chances of rejection may be lower because you have the option to go to court, as they have legally received the documents and you have an acknowledgement from the postal department. The disadvantage of applying by post, and this is something that most people do not apply by, this is why most people do not apply by post, is the fact that it takes longer. If you apply by post today, it might take 3 days for them to actually open your documents, read them, and give you a call if they are interested in processing it further. This is one of the challenges, but if you're living far away in Hyderabad, where it takes 1 hour one way and another 1 hour here and another 1 or 2 hours back, it might be smart to go to the local post office and just send a post in person. When you go in person, you're supposed to go to the office of the registrar. This is also known as the administrative building in Osmania University. It's opposite the controller of examinations in Osmania University. Your documents will be evaluated on the second floor in the academic section. The first person you will meet is an administrative assistant who will be typically very rude and evaluate your documents, say that whether they're valid or not. Typically, they'll find some kind of mistake in your entire document set. Anyway, after you've got all the documents sorted out, if they are still not happy with your documents, they will be forwarded to a section superintendent. This person is typically more patient and will listen to your case, understand what your situation is, and try to evaluate your documents accordingly. After you've successfully got your evaluation, they will give you an initial on the document set, and you will have to go down to the ground floor and submit your application at the dark branch, which is the inward outward section. They will give you an acknowledgement, and you will have to pick up the certificate in 3 to 5 working days after you submit this. There could be a delay if some of the officers are absent, but they're not absent for too long, so it's quite possible that you'll receive it within 3 to 5 days. Rejection of documents. Since the administrative assistant does not know a lot of things, they oftentimes outrightly reject your document, saying that your degree is not valid or we cannot issue an equivalency certificate. Most of the times this is not true. It's just that they don't want to get into any kind of nuisance and they don't want to do additional work. So if your degree is a little bit unique, or you studied BSc agriculture and doesn't have ICAR, or you studied something else and doesn't have AICTE approval, these are some things that you will have to be ready to fight on. The options to fight are, you can file an RTI with the relevant department, that is AICTE, ICAR, or whatever, and they will give you a response in writing, and you can take that response and give it to them. If they try to refuse, you will also go to higher authorities. Here is the hierarchy. The first is the administrative assistant. This person will typically not do much to help your case. Next is the section superintendent, who will probably help you out and try to solve the case. These are usually student friendly people, but there are some people who are just a pain to deal with, but you have no choice. If both of these people are not able to help you out, please go to the deputy registrar academic, who is the officer in charge, head of the department of the academic section. So that person will be signing the equivalency certificates. They might be able to help you out. If they are not able to help you, go to the registrar himself, ask him for admission and write your case down, mention what are the pros and cons, why you should be admitted, what are the reasons, yada yada yada, whatever it is. If none of these options work out, you have to go to the court, and if you go to the court, they might bend and they might scrutinize your application in depth and give you a certificate, but most people do not have to go till the court. 98% of people will just stop at the section superintendent. You will be able to finish your process here. But this is a little bit of a cumbersome process, so please don't expect it to be straightforward. Education, the field itself is such, and if you want to an equivalency certificate, typically you must be coming from a different state, or you studied in a different state and you're now living in Hyderabad, or you are originally from Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh and now you're going to you studied somewhere else, and maybe you want to do a PG or a LLB or something like that in Osmania University, and that's why you came here. So you have to have some patience. This is why I recommend applying by post. But anyway, you have to make sure that you finish the process, even if it is cumbersome, even if those people are a little bit of a pain to deal with. It is worth it in the end, because you will have a much brighter future if you complete your degree here. Common mistakes, so pitfalls that students often make. Number one, do not ever submit your original TC to this academic branch. They will not accept it, but even if they are accepting it, don't make this mistake, because they're never going to come back. And this TC is to be submitted only at the college that you're going to take admission in. Okay. and whenever you exit that college, they will give you a TC for future uses. Do not submit the original equivalency certificate after its issuance anywhere. You are supposed to hold on to the equivalency certificate original and only submit Xerox copies wherever it is needed. A third mistake most people make this, especially if they're not supported by the university in issuance of the equivalency certificate, they often just quit. They just stop. The administrative assistant says no, your degree is not valid, and they just leave. Uh, this is not the way you're supposed to deal with it, because this can make or break your life. So I would always recommend that you fight for your rights and push further. Go talk to the section superintendent, go talk to the deputy registrar academic. They will help you out. They always will help you out. You have to be more pursuing, you have to pursue your case. So you have to fight, and it doesn't mean physically get into a fight or verbally get into a fight, but make sure you pursue your case. Ask them, why can't you issue it? My life is at stake. Tell me what else I can do. What do you want me to do? What can I do? And there will be some route. If there's no route, you may not have a choice, but there typically will be some kind of route, as long as you have some basic documentation. Another pitfall, something that I've seen people do, is not having a DD ready. So you can just take a demand draft from a bank near your house and go to the academic branch. And if your job is done, you just submit the DD there and leave. Your job is not done, they don't accept your document. They say your documents are not valid for equivalency certificate. Just go back to the bank near you, maybe the next day, and just cancel the DD. That's it. If you are trying to do it at arts college, it's usually a waste of time and a lot of pain. All the best. I hope you do. You get your certificate. And for anything else, please visit 1516.co.in. We are working to get Telugu students everything they need when pursuing higher education. Have a good day.